Well, it did go live before 2 o'clock. I didn't think it would. I'm early. Yes, you're the winner, Ring. You win. I don't know about you win my 10T, but you win. Well, I guess the plan today is to do some more work on this thing. This is the one that I had on my last live. So there is. But yeah, so this is the plan to do some more work on this one. I did this is the one that was just a complete train wreck. The last one that I got, basically I got this as just a roller, not even a roller, it was just basically just the guts of it. So I've been building it slowly over the week. Hey RPM, hey Jason King. But yeah, so I've been working on this thing slowly throughout the week, kind of in the evenings, building it this has been built completely out of bits and pieces of different projects of stuff that I had. The only thing that's kind of new is the wing. And even then I had a new one, but it was new in package. Yeah, this was a $15 purchase. Looked nothing like this whatsoever. It was basically just a chassis plate, center diff, and the A-arms and the diffs. Everything else was missing. So this is completely built out of a mishmash of different bits and pieces. It's got HBI trophy front shocks. It's got Sen spare rear shocks. It's got all kinds of. It's a mismatch of everything. It's got OFNA fuel tanks in it. It's got OFNA battery boxes in it. Hey John, thanks for coming. Hey Joey. Yeah, it's a dog's breakfast of bits and pieces. Kind of as I've been building it, I even had to fabricate body mounts because it's a truggy. It was supposed to actually take like a truggy engine mount or a truggy body, but I don't have a body that fits it. It actually fits a buggy body relatively well. The weather here kind of sucks. It snowed like a bugger for the last 3 days. We got about 12 inches of snow total, and it's minus 12 Celsius right now. So yeah, so it's needless to say, not very conducive to running any nitros outside today. we're still waiting on, we gotta do fuel lines yet, I'm not waiting for fuel lines, I just haven't done them yet. And I'm waiting on servos, so I've ordered some servos for it, so they'll be here. They're not coming, they're coming through Amazon, not through Canada Post, which is still dead in the water. And this is actually a Dynamite 28 with an, OFNA 28 head on it, so it looks a little more correct. Do we have, do we have escape hatches because of the snow? You mean, Rick? Yeah, I wish, yeah, I spent the last 2 days doing nothing but clearing snow, so it's been kinda shitty. So I figured today, I've done the center diff service on this thing, it was completely empty. I have done I haven't done the end diffs yet, so I still need to do those, cause I'm pretty sure if the center diff was empty, probably the final drives are probably just as empty. So yeah, I figured today would be a good wrenching day with as cold as it is. I mean, maybe we could, if we get adventurous or something, maybe we'll try and run something, but it's pretty freaking cold. I don't think anything will tune worth a crap today. I generally like it to be a couple degrees warmer at least before I try and run stuff outside. I don't know what this one's gonna come apart like, cause this is actually that Duratrack, so I don't know what I'm up against when I take this apart. I didn't even know there was a nut on the backside of that thing. Oh wow, that goes all the way through there. Look at that. There's some needle nose pliers for you, John. I like these ones because they get your hands out of the way. I don't know if this cover's gonna come off without having to dismantle this completely. Most buggies you could pull this diff cover off, but I don't think this one's gonna be like that. I got a feeling I'm gonna have to take this apart a lot more than that. Let's pull the front end off here and see what we get. I know I gotta do a bunch of screws and stuff in here anyway, so. Cause I think it's got Robertson screws holding shit on that shouldn't have on there, and yeah, it's kind of a mess. Hey Harold, thanks for coming. This thing has a dirty mixed bag of shit for fasteners in it. Some stuff is Phillips, some stuff is Robertson, some stuff is Allen head, yeah, it's a bit of a mess. Let's see. See? Robertson screws holding those in. Somebody crammed some square drive screws in there. Get some. Maybe get some drivers. So. Yeah, there's a guy that actually messaged me the other day from Calgary about those tires, that he recognized them. It's pretty cool, actually. Kind of like the giant wood screws. Wish people wouldn't do that. Oh, look, these are drywall screws. This is gonna be good. I see grease oozing out of things already. Well, there's grease on the crown gear, so that's one win. I'll take that. Oh, you going for a pizza run, Ray? All right, let's see what we got. That wasn't too horrible to take apart. There's grease in there, and pine needles, and random shit. It doesn't feel too bad. Really dirty. It's full of brown stuff. Nice. Oh wow, that's different. Most kits, the crown and pinion are straight cut gears. These are helical cut gears, which is odd for RC stuff. Yeah, I've never seen helical cut gears in an RC car. Usually, like I said, they're straight cut gears, and that's part of the reason they're so noisy. Um, this one is, yeah, helical cut, which is odd. That's pretty cool, actually. Let's see, place your bets. You figure this is empty or what? Center diff was nothing in it but hopes and dreams. And it's empty. Shocker. Yep. Empty. At least it had oil in it and not somebody didn't pack it with grease. Hey, Compass? So I think I'm going to go with a 7,000 oil. I like to run 7,000, 5 or 7,000 in the ends, and 500K usually in the center diff, unless I'm actually going to race it. Yeah, I'm willing to bet you're right, Jason. They're probably all empty from sitting. This thing sat for probably, I'm guessing, 15 years in a Rubbermaid bin in somebody's basement. Yeah, I've done 10K front and 10. I like to run mostly like 7K, 5K in the end diffs. Not in the center diff, obviously, but in the end diffs. Let's see. Half the time, I get this alignment fucked up, and I piss around trying to get it again. It all depends what you're gonna do. You can kind of do whatever you want, Harold, with your oil. It depends what you run it as or for. Like, I run mine lots just like in fields and stuff, and I don't race with it. So I kind of like to lock it up as much as I can. So I like to run as thick of oil as I can in the center, and then I like to run, 5 or 7K in the front diff. If you watch, actually, Adam Drake does a really good job. He had a really great video on the differential oils and what they do, in a buggy, on, in regards to where you, what action you want. Nice and smooth now. I'm just gonna give that a quick rinse before I throw something else in there. some of the farm fresh crap out of there. And there's a mixture of everything in that one. There's a little bit of grease in there, looks like some silicone. You watch, I'll clean all the schmoo out of here and then the diff will blow up. Usually what happens. It's the schmoo holding it together. Like I said, everybody kind of does this with their own style. Not to say anybody's particular style is wrong or right. I do mine different. I will say one thing though, whoever put this together the last time, put the shims in the wrong place. There. There we go. Man, that looks so much better. And again, I just run, this is just a regular EP2 grease. This is what I run, it's like a wheel bearing grease. That's what I run for the crown and pinions. And basically what I do is I just paint the ring in one place and then I let it pull it around. Hey Bob, thanks for coming. I don't know if I said that already. If I didn't, I apologize. You know, aside from somebody cramming the wrong oil in there or the wrong screws in there, this is actually not in awful shape. I always like, any of you car guys out there, I always kind of liken this thing because there's a Duratrax. I think every time I work on this thing, I think of like an AMC because it's such a mixed bag of lunch of shit from other manufacturers. Yeah, it's just like I said, it's just such an odd mix of stuff. That's why so much other stuff fits. Like some Offna stuff fits, some dirt, some HPI stuff fits. You know, it depends. It really depends. And I don't mean the diapers. There. Ooh, yep. See how that turns. Oh, that's way better. don't know, I like that. It's pretty rough feeling. Thanks, John, appreciate that. There we go. Just needed to get the grease worked around. What did I use for link wire? What do you mean for link wire, Joe? It doesn't feel very smooth. Feels kind of notchy. Oh, for servos? I actually went with the blue Amazon servos. I like the Amazon servos. I buy lots of the Musi ones. I have pretty good luck with them, and the thing I like about them is they're waterproof, and if you buy the blue ones, they're high voltage. They work pretty decent. I find that really tight. I think I'm gonna take that apart in there. I don't like that. Yeah, totally, you're right, Rinks. AMC was totally good for that. I used to have a bunch of AMCs back in the day, and they were just, it depends what day of the week you bought the thing from and what they used. Oh, the linkages? The linkages are all, homemade or, the, and it's funny, cause the center one, the one, for the brakes, this one here, this is actually from a Sen, from my spare parts bin from the Sen 77 stuff. And then these rods were, just old bicycle spokes. And then and then the brake pads are actually carbon pads from, Hyper. The Hobeo, carbon brake pads. I threw away the old brake pads, but they were quite the mess. They were actually made out of, cardboard boxes. I'm thinking it's just shimmed too tight, this diff. Come on, get in there. Why is it you never find out stuff until after you grease it? Hey Corey, thanks for coming. Got it. Oh, that's so much smoother. Somebody had that just shimmed too tight. That's so much smoother. Definitely well greased now, and all over my hand. I like that this has nuts on the backside though, that's pretty cool. Cause then you don't have to worry about stripping the plastic case. They sit into a kind of hex on the backside. Yeah, I like the Protect ones and all those too. Compass, but the problem is like, cause we live in the middle of nowhere. Um, for me to be able to get the Protect servos and, or the, um, oh my god, I'm drawing a blank. Any of the other better servos, Savox, that's what I was looking for, drawing a blank. I gotta try and go to the city to get them, and then I'm not in the city often enough, so I found that those Musi ones are a pretty good compromise. For cheap, they actually work pretty decent. Oh, that's so much better. Quarters of stealing gas again, nice. There, that cleans that up tremendously now. Okay, like I said, the thing I love about this hobby is that I can do something different than John does something. John can do something, you know, I can do something completely different than how Rinks does stuff. Everybody does stuff slightly different. Yep. Not to say anything is more right or wrong than the other person, but, well, it depends if it works or not. I guess if it doesn't work, then it's wrong. But, I wonder if I got another bumper. I noticed that this was supposed to have a bumper, cause there's pieces of it underneath here. I wonder if I got a bumper kicking around. Let me see if I can find one. I must have a bumper here somewhere. Aha! Look at that. Bumper set. New old stock, off in the parts. Man, I almost don't wanna open that. You know, I kinda like these. You know, I didn't even think to use, drywall screws, but they actually, when you trim the end off, they look just like those plastic screws. Oh yeah, there we go. That looks better. Top plate back on. Hey John, if you want, I was thinking about it after your live there, we could always, take a look at that parts thing and see if we can figure out your stuff together, if you'd like. I mean, I know that one doesn't run, but we can have a look and see if we can sort out what's slipping there. I don't wanna pull that other new transmission apart, but we can, just 'cause I'd rather leave that new for when I ship it to you. Just 'cause I mean, they're so scarce, those things. Trying to get somebody else that has the same issue going on would be almost impossible. Hey OG, we're just doing some diff services and whatnot today, and then we're gonna see if we can look at that, send of mine and see if we can sort out some stuff for what John's got going on with his, so. There, nice and smooth that one now. Man, sometimes it almost makes me feel bad to open those new old stock parts like that. It's like, ooh, you almost don't wanna open it. Do you guys do that? Do you have like parts and pieces and you don't wanna dive into the new old stock stuff? I mean, the only one that I know of that's like that exactly is Todd, Nitro Talk with Todd, cause he's got so many new old stock parts. So this one doesn't look like it was ever meant to have a rear bumper, so I think I'll save the rear bumper. I tell you though, if anybody ever buys a Monster Pirate, off the Monster Pirate, let me know. I bought a brand new in box, diff assembly, like an upgraded diff carrier, and I have no use for it, but I bought it just because I stumbled across it. Okay, now, if I'm right, now that I've had this other one apart, I don't need to take this housing off the ass end of this thing. I should just be able to pop these snap rings. I don't want to lose these though. Watch these snap rings go flying. was uneventful. That's a long ass screw. Check that out, bend like a banana. You know, the other day I was running stuff out here and working on stuff, and all my cordless shit died, and I actually used a air drill for the first time. I dug it out of my toolbox for the first time in like a decade. I've used that thing. How much? What are you asking for? How much there, Joe? Just for those servos? The servos are from the Amazon servos. The Musi ones are super cheap. That's part of the reason I like them. They're like $25. Ooh, yuck. Oh, you're looking for clay tires. You said you got Compass. There we go. So I don't even have to pull it apart. Man, that thing's disgusting. It literally looks like somebody took that out, took a shit in there, and then put it back together. That's fucking gross. Sorry for the language, guys. Virgin ears, I know. You know? Especially John being a tradesman, I know you never hear swearing, never at a construction site, never have racist slurs or anything like that. Never happens. Holy crap. That's a full-on pine cone in there. Okay, I'm gonna have to wash these out. This is gonna have to give this a rinse out there first, fellas. You guys wanna see what I'm doing? I'll move you over to my wash table. disgusting. There. That's better. Get rid of all the heavy schmoo out of there. And I tell you, Simple Green is great stuff. Straighten you guys up here. There. I'll have to plug my charger in. Alright. Sorry about the noise there, that was horrible. Oh man, this is... Ooh, this will need to be cleaned too now. You know what? I wish you could listen to music and do this at the same time for you guys, only because my subjected to my music, but the, the last time I did that once, and I got blocked by YouTube and they kicked my live off, and it was embarrassing. I didn't know any better. There. Yeah, I'm sure, Joe, he has no idea what shipping would be to you. It's not cheap. Hey, you. Holy crap. Looks like I've been working on a car. The amount of goo in there. Alright. I'm betting that's empty. And there's not even a hint of anything in this one. It's dry as a bone. I'm glad I didn't run this one before I looked at it. John had 2 lives today you gotta watch. Because he had the one that crashed on him and then he started another one. And I'm sure we've all suffered that fate at some point. So then what I do with the O-ring, take a little bit of your diff lube, just put it on the O-ring, then for the case, and then feed it back around and it'll stay there if you don't roll the shit out of it. There. Come on, you. Make a liar of me. I think that thing was pinched in there before. Come on. Nope. Popped out of there again. There we go. Right? I know you, it sucks. I had that first one I did, it was all the same thing and it was because of the music. And I wish, I mean, and I've looked up the YouTube friendly music and stuff, and most of it is like, just shitty music that has no lyrics to it. You know what, man? I can't believe I did that. So, yeah, today, A2, we're just doing some diff services in this, frankin buggy I built here. You guys know what I did there? I'm sure you watched me do it. You see this, really nice gear that should, it should have gone in there, that I didn't put in, that I just saw laying there and went, ah, right? Yeah, you can do it if you play the music that's demonetized. And I got lucky and like 50% of the shit that I did on that other live were good, but I wish you could just filter for demonetized music and then it would be good. And I mean, maybe you can, and I just don't know how, but the, I should look, my wife's really good at that stuff. Should I get her to do that for me, make a playlist, just then I can play demonetized music for when I'm doing this. At least it'll take the silence away from when you guys are watching me do shit like this. Anybody ever put your diff carrier in upside down? Or 180 out? I've done that before. More than a few times. I even, to the point now where I double check before I button it all up completely. I gotta check, you take your crown and just roll it, make sure all your wheels move in the same direction. Not sure if anybody else has messed that up before, but. Like I said, man, I'm not proud. Everybody messes stuff up at some point. That's what this hobby's all about, kind of teaching people how to do stuff so they don't make the same mistakes that other people make. That's gonna be fun to put back in there with it all bent to shit like that. One. Ooh, went in there. Now, push these pins back in, put the snap rings on. There. See, this is why I like these long ones, John. You keep your hands away from, out of your way. There. Especially for snap rings. There. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Joe. You can. It's not that you can't get monetized in Canada, but it's super difficult, and it like you say, takes a. I just keep telling people you can't. Like for me anyway, I don't shoot for those kind of goals. I'm not gonna. I don't think that I will ever be as big as some of those other ones, and from there, but the. I don't shoot for those kind of things. I'm in it for the love of the hobby. So what do you guys think there? My diff services are done. Look at that, nice and smooth now. Perfect. There. We'll put some fuel lines on there a little later. I think we should have a look at a send for John and see if we can sort out some issues. Hey Rob, thanks for coming. floor. So diffs are all serviced in there now. It went from being empty to not empty. Yeah, that was just, and at least if I know when I get the servos, I'll actually be able to run this without it blowing up. Oh, thanks, Rinks, I do appreciate that. I mean, if it ever did happen, I'd be super stoked, but we'll see. Okay. See if we can figure this out. So now, John had his slipping right here this morning. There. You can see this thing's doing the same thing. It's turning, but the truck isn't moving. And what's the... I wonder if there's a centrifugal clutch in there. Because if we look, it doesn't seem to move the output on the transmission. Oh, there you go. Now that's turning, and it's not moving anything. Is there a center diff in there? There must be a center diff in that thing. Yeah, because if I hold this shaft and turn this, then the wheels, yep, and it locks up. So if I hold the other shaft, interesting. So it almost seems like there's a centrifugal, there's a diff, a center diff inside that transmission. So if you lose, and it looks like it prioritizes rear wheel drive, nope, there. So there's a center diff inside that transmission slot. I think if you lose a set screw or a shaft pin in one of the shafts, it will just go to a straight open differential. So have a brand new differential here, never been installed. So that would go in this way. So you can only turn it in one direction, so there's a one-way bearing in there. Oh, John, I bet you that's your problem. I've had that happen with Savages before. There's a one-way bearing in here. See? I could turn this till I'm blue in the face, but it only turns in one direction. So I'm willing to bet that one-way bearing inside that transmission is boogered or full of grease. Yep, I bet you dollars to donuts there's a one-way bearing inside there. There's a brand new differential too. So obviously it's not that, but more like all the one-way bearings, yeah. But I bet you, I've had that happen in the Savages before, in the transmissions where the one-way bearing in the transmission goes for a crack. And then it's like it shifts between first and second, and then zing, it just goes to the moon. So and you know what, that makes sense, because it's exactly what it sounded like. It sounded like that one way was just slipping. That's what, remember I said this morning, I said something slipping. I bet you the one way bearing in that thing is. What have I got any of those? I got a hub end bearing kit. I got wheel end bearings. Oh, I got a new air filter. Hinge pins. Steering lights. More axle with it. This is the other thing I'll send you to, John, when the post strike is over, is that this is the third gear lockout hub that removes third out of those sends. So you can either take it apart again, John, or wait for the post strike to be over and I'll send you that transmission. Or you can do both. But I'm willing to bet now that I see that only turns in one direction. It's not like an MGT transmission. It's that one-way bearing is, I guarantee you, it's either knackered or greased up or cracked or something like that. I wonder if that if the one-way bearing in here is the standard one-way bearing in the in there. Take the lockout out to see it? Yeah, I can. It's kind of an interesting looking thing. It's a Ziploc bag, so it's resealable. It's kind of an interesting looking piece of equipment. See, it's a cast piece that goes in there and fits onto that hex pin. And then it comes with the O-rings. It's a kit. O-rings and the pins to make it work. So the parts for the 7.7 they used to be fairly plentiful, but they're almost impossible to find now. Still find some on eBay, the guy that I actually got, the send from that John has now, not this one, but the one that John has now the guy was an eBay junkie. He bought bits and bought bits and bought bits, so he had spare parts for everything. And fortunately, so that's why I got all those bits and pieces. And I picked this one up in a city over from me. I bought it mostly just because I know how hard the parts are to find, and I stumbled across this thing super cheap. So I ended up getting my son to pick it up because he lives in that city, and which was a little bit unnerving to get him to go pick it up, but he went and picked it up for me because sometimes some of the people on Facebook Marketplace are less than awesome. But yeah, I can't wait for this postal strike to be over, and then we can fix them up. That'll be exciting. I even got a spare one of these, and I don't even know what you never wreck that. But that's the spare roll bar, brand new. I don't even know why you would ever go through that, but. Now, old man, I don't know if I've seen you in here before, old man. Thanks for coming. A bunch was in here that old man. Figured, well, I've got you guys in here. I figured that one of these other projects deserves a bit of an upgrade. You guys know this one, obviously. But yeah, it's got this, this is the factory, Offna pipe, and it's louder than shit, but it works okay, but it's, you know, it's got a homemade spring retainer on it, things like that. But I have this nice upgraded, dynamite pipe that I think this is a good candidate for it, because this has the Arrow engine in it, and it needs a bit of an upgrade. Yeah, see, it's got a big dirty dent in it. It's just tired. Hey, I bought this with the intention of putting it in this one, and then just haven't yet. How's that going? that issue? I wish Dynamite would make a bunch of different types of pipes like they used. You know, it's actually funny, because, Dynamite still makes quite a bit of pipes, that I can't seem to find anywhere else but on Amazon, and I don't know how or where they're coming from out of Amazon, but like this pipe's brand new. I didn't find it vintage, new old stock in a weird hobby store or anything. It's brand new. It's the platinum Dynamite pipe, and so I don't know where they're coming from out of Amazon, but this is like the third or fourth one I've bought. Right, Hugh, I tell you, and they work great. Like I got them on a couple other buggies. I have zero complaints. Not sure we got enough timing. And the other thing is that I like about them is they have, instead of just having 3 holes for your tri-spring, they got all kinds of different placements. So you could put these on just about anything, really. I mean, if you wanted, you could probably put them on a monster truck. That one's spring in the wrong place. Move that over 1 hole. There. Hey, that happens, Corey. Maybe I need to change that gasket, you know. Came with one, I'll use what it came with. That's better. Tell me that doesn't look better already. I got servos coming for this one too. The ones that are in it are making me nervous. They're the old original. One's an original like an old high-tech one, and the other one is the original Rockman servo. And they were doing some weird shit the last time I drove it. Too big. We're in that. pipe. You know? Has anybody yet on here ever done any plastic repairs to control arms? I did a repair on this one quite a while ago, and it's been holding remarkably well. So what I did is I used that plastic weld, JV weld stuff, and then what I did is I took a piece of mechanics wire, drilled 2 little holes, took the piece of mechanics wire through, wrapped it up so it sucked the pieces back together, and then covered it in mechanics in this plastic weld stuff, and it's been holding remarkably well. Probably been that way for almost a year now, and I've run it quite a bit. There. What do you guys think of that? That looks better, hey? From that other pipe, from this old thing. I think that looks way better. I wonder what that sounds like. Yeah, I've done that works raw. Yeah, I've done that before too. You make a stud essentially and thread the 2 pieces together. There. Oh, I missed something. Oh, Joe, you left. Sorry, buddy, I missed you. Later, guy. I wish this thing was better. If I had better servos in it, I'd take it out for a rip in the snow. But I know for a fact that these servos will not hold up in the snow. There. That looks good there, hey? actually ready for the season. I haven't fired this up since last winter. This is the one that I tend to run in the winter time all the time. Haven't even, like I said, haven't even looked at this one since last winter. And just for anybody that does run in the snow, these ProLine Big Joes are the bomb in the snow. They're so wide that they're so good in the snow because the footprint is stellar. And then this is the NVT with the Pro 21 in it. So it's got enough RPM that it'll carry it on the snow. I had two sets of these. One set I no longer have. I had sent to Joe before, and then they got stolen. So they're no longer in existence. Batteries in this thing. Yeah, this one still even runs old AM gear. All original. They're actually not that heavy, no. The ProLine Badlands are way heavier. Way heavier. I actually won't, I'm not a big fan of those ProLine Badlands unless they're on something with enough torque to do anything with them. There it is. Say I have the wrong clip. Oh, radio did. Battery in that thing did. Anybody watching some of my older videos, this thing's the one that I've used outside the most in the snow. Still watching. bad battery connection. See if the servos still work. He's a little lazy. Oh, they're speeding up. They're just a little tired from sitting. Oh, the reverse servo still works. You see this thing will fire? I haven't tried to fire it since last year. They normally always fire something up. Let's see if I find my stuff. There it is. All right, John, talk to you later. Oh, we got a leaker. I don't know. Looks like the maint speed adjustments. Far from its guts out. Yep. Needs a reseal. I think I got a spare carburetor blown out. Nope. That's a 28. There it is. 21. Later, Hugh. Thanks for coming. Maybe I should just swap that carb out. Yeah, we'll try this first. Oh. That's a different needle. Got more O-rings on it. Got an extra land. It's the same distance. Got an upgraded carburetor. Oh, there we go. See if the one way will hold. Like I said, I haven't run it since last year. Oh, pretty gummed up. Come on. So Ra, I'll answer your question there before I get carried away with this. So, if you look, the big difference between the 8.0 and the 4.6 and the, so if you see how this is a spring-loaded header, this is the dead giveaway. Like, always tells you right away. You see this is a spring-loaded header here. If you look at the MGT, it's on the back, and it's a bolt-on header. All the 8.0 MGTs are a bolt-on header. Any of the ones with the spring-loaded header is instantly a 4.6. That's the dead giveaway. Also, the other giveaway, if you look at the spur gear, there's a separate bearing support that goes over this spur gear housing. Yeah, like that's a super dead giveaway. The bearing here and the header, instantly. If somebody's telling you it's an 8.0 and it doesn't have either one of those two, either somebody stuck an 8.0 in it, which I've seen before, which is a bad deal because the transmissions internally from the 4.6 and the 2.1 Thunder Tiger engines are not as tough as the 8.0 transmission. Yeah, Riggs, in the .211 and the .28 MGTs, there's really not much difference between the two. The only difference is the gearing. Like usually it'll have a smaller bell because the engine doesn't make as much torque. And then the other giveaway too is if you look at if somebody puts a different bumper on the back end, the 8.0 will have a roller in the rear bumper for wheelies because those things are so wheelie happy. Yeah, a lot of this is an upgraded exhaust. So this is not the standard exhaust. This is actually a factory update. So you can get them with this header, or most of them, 90% of them, have the header that runs across the back and dumps out here. Like that's the way 95% of them are. I've got a couple of these where I swapped. Now, funny tidbit, if anybody's looking to kind of have some fun with an MGT, you can stick any mill in it you want, but the header is kind of a bit of an issue because it only fits on the MGT manifold gasket. But if you have an old LST or you can get a hold of an old LST, the header works really well, and then you just got to trim a bit of this lip off because the pipe sits out a little bit further, but it works tremendously well and makes it a totally better truck. And most of these are supposed to be this way with the full start and the roto start. I took the roto start bit off of this one because I needed it for one of my other ones, but the full start works fine in this one, so I left it alone. You bet, Compass. Yeah, so I mean, I can grab one of my 8.0s if you want to see it raw. Yeah, I know. They're pretty rare. Like I have another one that in my on my spare engine, but the full start is broken. Like there's the full start. That's a .28. But the cable's busted inside. It's all there, and I have the full start handle and everything, so I just need to fix it. Yeah, I know you need this collar, hey? I have the one on my spare engine, that's the only one I got. If you watch what Joe did, actually, on his MGT, he got one of the little collars that went over here like a hex nut, and he just used a cordless drill. And it worked. It was a hex nut with a lock screw. So, and it works just fine. Yeah, the other thing I thought about is if you took, like an axle shaft, final drive axle shaft, from an old MGT or something, and then just took the axle itself that fits into the spline and just, clamp it in a drill. Yeah, you know what I mean, just the drive cup that goes on the outside of the diff. I'm sure you have one out of one of them parts MGTs. Just slide it over here, pinch it, take the old axle, buck the end of it off, put it on the cordless drill and use it like your starter shaft. Yeah, like that'll work. It'll work in a bind. I mean, I've seen a few people, do that kind of thing. I would rather do the axle shaft one rather than a hex nut, just because I don't wanna have to try and fish that hex nut in there with suck. If you use an axle shaft, you can be off quite a bit either direction and it'll fire. Well, guys, what do you figure? I think we're gonna call it for today on this, snowy, cold, Sunday. I might, I don't wanna take the phone and stuff outside and try and do any videoing or anything, so I might actually take this one for a quick rip outside and see, how it works in the snow. And see, go from there. And then, yeah, everybody hopefully have a good Sunday, and I'm sure we'll be chatting next week. I'm super glad everybody showed up, and, everybody have a great day, and hopefully stay warm and have some fun. Don't break too much shit, and watch out for big ramps. That's for you, Rinks. Thanks, Compass. Everybody have a good one.